There's our cat right here. Good sized track. Look at that. That's 4.5, 5 inches wide there. That's a nice track, and the good news is it's extremely fresh. And it's going in a direction we think we can hunt. And we have enough time, we think, to get him up a tree today. That's good news. That's really good news. Having hunted across the West for many years, I have not found a state that offers more or better hunting opportunities than my home state of Colorado. A state blessed with more elk than any other, the best Shiras moose hunting on the continent, bighorn sheep, black bears, mountain goats, gargantuan mule deer, and exceptional whitetails. Book pronghorn, and last but not least, an abundance of massive mountain lions, America's stealthiest predator. Of all the world's great game animals, I find big cats the most intriguing and often the most challenging to hunt. I'm hunting at 7,000 feet with Bill Canterbury's Track 'em Outfitters outside of Howard, Colorado, where the land is wild, the mountains are steep, and the cats are big. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that goes on standby because I live in Colorado and it's about a 2.5 hour drive south to get down to Bill's zone down here. So when it snows, it's one of those deals where it's like, you want to be out there that first morning after, because if you pick up a track, it's going to be fresh, and that's your highest and best odds of ever getting a mountain lion. They're going to kind of loop around and see if they can cut a track 2 miles down. If they did, then we'll just hopscotch and go that way and see if we can pick it up. We got about 4, maybe 5 hours of daylight left to see if we can get her done today. When it comes to successful mountain lion hunting, the two most important ingredients are fresh snow and good dogs, in that order. Locate a big tom track soon after several inches of powder have fallen, and you'll see the outfitter grin like a Cheshire cat, because snow is the cougar's kryptonite. You know, we were on some really nice cats, big track, long stride. We worked them. Everybody was exhausted, and they found a way to get out. You know, they found the back door to the canyon kind of a deal, and we just couldn't make up the time and the distance, the amount of time that we had. Because these cats are so clever and elusive, I've gone home empty-handed many times along this odyssey, but it's not for lack of mature cats to hunt, as their numbers are approaching all-time highs.
In Colorado, we've let the mountain lion population get out of hand. We cut the ratio of acceptable female takes years ago in Colorado, and it's exploded the mountain lion population. Other states have more lions than they used to have, and Colorado can only handle so many lions with the prey base. My personal opinion, we're devastating the mule deer herds in Colorado with predators. And if we don't do something about it, we're not going to have mule deer to hunt.
And if you're a mule deer hunter, you know there's a lot of mountain lions because you've seen some of those populations plummet in areas where the cats have really taken over. Cats are prolific anyway. They're prolific as breeders, they're prolific as killers, so they've got to be controlled. Frankly, there ought to be even more mountain lion hunting as far as I'm concerned, and I'd like to see more people come out. Come to Colorado and go mountain lion hunting, please. As more and more people move into transition zones between wild country and the suburbs, often in places where deer thrive, we're seeing significant increases in lion attacks on humans. Throughout the West, and even right in my own backyard at Roxborough State Park, just 20 miles outside of Denver, that's where Park Ranger Andy Peterson was when a spring hike up Carpenter Peak turned into a fight for survival after he was attacked by a mountain lion on the prowl.
Blink of an eye, the cat was right in front of me, and all of a sudden the cat just jumped. The claws popped into my neck, and I had the knife. I just started digging as hard as I can into the cat's neck, shoved my thumb as hard as I could into the cat's right eye. Claws popped out, jumped back behind me up on the trail, and that was it. That was the time to go, and just took off, started running.
Peterson was life-flighted to safety and underwent 6 hours of surgery, getting 70 staples in his scalp and 100 stitches on his face and body. He came through it all with a newfound respect for the fearsome mountain lion and a keen awareness of their prevalence in populated areas. Now it's my chance to turn predator into prey, I hope.
This looks like a nice tom track.
Yeah, that's a serious pug right there.
It should be a nice tom.
You're thinking tomorrow morning we get up here, kind of check around the backside and see if he's gone out the backside?
We'll circle. He's got a day on us here.
Yeah.
He could have came through today, but we'll circle, and if he's in here, we'll turn the dogs loose.
Release the hounds. I like the sound of that. They are ready to go. You got wild animals chasing more wild animals. There we go. Put me in, coach. I want in this game. No form of hunting is more misunderstood by non-hunters than hunting with hounds for mountain lions. Their ill-conceived notion is simply that you release the hounds, they tree a nearby cat, and the deed is done. But nothing could be further from the truth, as this is a physically and mentally draining endeavor that challenges body and spirit. It's a demanding hunt with miles of running along craggy mountains and knee-deep snow, not just in pursuit of the cat, but to retrieve wayward dogs as well. After mountain goats, I would rate mountain lion hunting as the second most demanding hunt in all of North America, and that includes the sheep.
Well, we had a little bad luck. Just couldn't get on a fresh track. We were always a day behind the lion with Chris. And he'd come in and we'd have a track from the day before and we'd try to run it and just couldn't get it done.
Come here, Clyde. Come on, bud. Load up. You want to chase a cat still, don't you?
Anything but back in. It's round 3 for me on this cougar quest, as I've gone home empty-handed twice so far, but I'm hoping the third time is the charm.
Who are these dogs?
This is Penny,
That's Penny.
Penny, and Clyde.
Penny and Clyde. Remember Clyde?
Yeah,
Clyde's still on the team?
he is.
Yeah. Clyde's a star.
All right, Clydey.
Any day, Clyde. Is today the day, buddy? Is today the day? You and me? Aren't you sick of seeing me? Let's get this over with, huh? Oh, just another day at the office. Just another day at the office. But, there's lots of cats around, so Bill's really optimistic this time, so fingers crossed.
Yesterday morning, he was right here. Today, we'll see where he's at.
Well, cool.
Well, you'd never know. I mean,
Yeah.
hunting's hunting.
Yeah. I'm not sure I brought a goat tag.
It's quite a climb up
It's
here.
a serious climb up here. Well, this is some big country. These things can live anywhere, go anywhere. These big toms have a big range too. Fingers crossed he's got a kill up here. Doesn't want to go too far.
That would be the ideal situation.
As the howls of the hounds pushed farther away, I came to the realization that there simply wasn't a cat for them to track. But how far away from us right now?
Right now they are 840 yards.
840 yards.
Yep,
Seems like no matter what we do, they're 800 yards away.
I know.
I feel like I'm on a treadmill. As the frustration mounts, the questions pile up. Is this worth the effort? Will it ever happen? What else could I possibly do to break this drought and break through on a big cat? It's our 4th cougar hunt in 3 years, and my hopes, like the Colorado cat population, are running high. This was kind of it. This is the end of the season. I really didn't have any more time to come down, so if it didn't work this time, we got this really fortuitous snowstorm coming in, 6-8 inches down in this part of the state, which is pretty good. We come down, and as we get into town towards Bill's place, he says, hey, I've got this cat. It's on the other side of the state, basically. It's a 3-hour drive to get over there, but it's a big tom. I know this area. It's with some guys that I've known for a long time. What do you think? So I said, it sounds great. He said, well, good. I'm glad you said that, because we're going to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, hit the road by 2:30 to get there in time. So off we go into the Colorado night, as optimistic as we were exhausted with this 3-year odyssey. I knew I needed a game changer. I needed my old friend Tom Behunin, who's been my lucky charm countless times. From a muskox hunt in the Arctic to a massive woodland caribou hunt we took together, and a last day elk we harvested on public land. You are the lucky charm, man. For me, luck is spelled T-O-M.
I know Chris has been hunting these mountain lions for 3 years, and he's been trying, and he just needed a good luck charm. So that's the reason why he called me. He knew if I was going to come up here, we're going to get a mountain lion. Boy, that's a monster cat, man. Look at the stride. He's got a hell of a stride right there. Holy moly. This stride's well over 36 inches, so it tells me it's a big tom. So, I mean, this is a very big tom. These are yesterday's tracks, but I think we should be able to sort them out and be able to take a good look at him, freshen these tracks up. I'm real excited about it. So, yeah, he's a nice tom. We need to go catch him. He's decent. I think we find him. I think he's on a deer kill myself.
Even on a fresh track, countless things can go wrong. High mountain winds can kick up and obliterate the trail. Afternoon sunshine can age the track in mere minutes. Or your tom can cross trails with another cat, making it an unreadable, intermingled track. Well, at that moment, it appeared we were dealing with all the above.
So, yeah, again, it just seemed like deja vu, and here we go again. It seemed like a good idea at the time. This is probably it. Maybe I ought to think about hunting something a little closer towards Denver instead of making a drive this far. That much easier to access, all that kind of stuff was going through my mind. And so it's just, it's an interesting game. Every one of these dogs has sort of a different position on the team. Some of these dogs are race dogs. They chase, pursue hard. Some are just good at treeing the cat. But together they work as a team, and they don't want them to separate. If they separate, that's when a big cat will turn on a dog and kill that dog.
Sadly, my outfitter, Bill Canterbury's fantastic dog, Clyde, who I had hunted with many times before, was recently killed by a big cat in a harrowing standoff.
Clyde was gonna be 5 years old this summer. I lost a good dog. We turned loose on a tom. It was a fresh track, and we turned 6 dogs loose. And when we got to the tree, we had 3 dogs. And we killed the lion, and then I started looking on my GPS, and the dogs weren't moving, and the lion had killed 2 of my good dogs coming to the tree. Clyde was a good dog. He was a all-around dog. He could trail and tree. He just did everything right. A dog that, anybody would want.
Sobered by the seriousness and lethality of our pursuit, Bill, Tom, the hounds, and I hit the trail once again, eager for action but well aware of our long odds.
So sure enough, we've been hunting all day long. I've been hunting with Chris for muskox, elk, deer, coos deer, caribou, you name it, we've been hunting, and I've seen that look on his face. He was tired. They already did a 5-mile trek, and all of a sudden, we see this track across the road.
This is definitely a tom here. See how much bigger around the track is?
That's a fresh track there.
Let's do it. So Bill's already, 300 yards up into the hill, just under the bluff. He's got dogs up there.
And then the dogs got to working it pretty good, and up the south slopes where there wasn't any snow. And then before around 1 o'clock, we ended up jumping it.
We got a cat that we jumped in the bottom here. We just picked up a fresh track, but the dogs are super hot. Bill saw the track and said it's just as fresh as the dog track right now. So it's if it's not under the rim there, it must have popped right over. Get around and get on top. However you do that.
It's been a grueling, multi-year marathon of a cougar hunt, and I'm wondering if it's worth all this effort, danger, and disappointment. Well, I'm about to find out.
Once we got a few hours behind the cat, it was over. The dogs were able to run it good and put it up a tree.
So we ended up coming all the way back around, and I'll tell you, when you hear that sound of hounds bang, you know they've got a cat. There's a lot that goes through your mind. You see the cat, or you just see him looking at the tree?
I see him all barking tree.
All right.
He's in it.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. You think about all the busted hunts, the failed trips, and the dogs that didn't make it through a hunt or whatever. All this stuff is kind of playing through your mind as you're about to conclude this epic journey.
A wild mountain lion is a stunning sight to behold. Such fluid movements and such a fearsome bearing. Truly, this is one magnificent beast.
By God, you see the tan in the tree and you go, the cat's there. And I'm looking at Behuna going, it's there. I mean, you are the luckiest charm I've ever seen in my life. As soon as he spins on the top of that tree, you could just see his head and his shoulders, big paws. Just a beautiful cat, I mean, just magnificent.
And I looked at Chris's face, and I could see somebody that was so elated and so happy that knowing that this was going to come to an end.
That's a nice cat, man. That's a nice cat. I've been waiting a long time for this one. All right, when he turns, when he faces me, I'm going to take him. Here we go. He's turning. Here we go.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yes!
That's a nice cat, man. That is a beautiful cat.
That is a beautiful baby. Oh, man, that's a beautiful
That is a toad of a cat, man.
And sure enough, Chris makes a perfect shot on him. And the first thing he does, he turns around and gives me a great big hug.
That's just, yes.
I mean, that's a stud. Way to go, bud. Way to go.
You're the lucky charm.
He says, thank you, buddy. And that's worth $1 million to me, just to have a buddy to do that. Me and him have hunted for the last 5 years together, and every time we've had such a good time.
You know, so it's a group effort. Nobody hunts these things by themselves. I mean, it is a team effort to get one of these cats. So when you put the miles on, you dream it, you sweat it, and you finally get it, and it lives as long as you live.
Once we got up to the cat, it was a beautiful tom. Big old pumpkin head, big paws, everything you're looking for in a nice lion.
Brother, I gotta tell you, man, I didn't think it was ever gonna happen. It was one of those where you never gave up. It's one of those things I had to keep reminding myself, it's gonna happen. You just gotta be patient, you just gotta keep going up the mountain. It's about the miles, it's about the miles, it's about the miles, man, and I tell you what,
And it
you made it happen.
finally paid off today.
I tell you. Whenever I look at that animal in the trophy room, it's gonna be a story, you know, a long story.
To see him be able to shoot a big old tom lion and to get it done, and with me to come up here, and I sure think, I keep on telling him, I am that lucky charm you like, so I'll never forget that as long as I live.